The Silent Watcher's DR. Elena Vasquez pressed her palm against the cold observation window of Neptune Station, watching the distant stars twinkle in the eternal darkness of space. For 15 years, she had monitored the depths of the solar system, tracking asteroids, studying cosmic phenomena, and maintaining the delicate sensor networks that kept Earth safe from unexpected threats. Tonight felt different. The quantum resonance detectors had been picking up unusual signatures for the past 3 days, patterns that made her stomach twist with worry. The Neptune station hung in the shadow of the ice giant, its massive arrays of sensors and communication equipment disguised as a simple research outpost. To any outside observer, it appeared to be nothing more than a scientific facility studying the outer planets. The truth was far more complex. Elena turned from the window and walked back to her primary workstation, where streams of data flowed across multiple screens like digital waterfalls. Her fingers danced across the holographic interface, isolating the anomalous readings that had been growing stronger each hour. The patterns were unmistakable now. Something massive was approaching the solar system from the direction of the Kepler 442 system, moving at speeds that defied conventional physics. Elena's breath caught in her throat as the computer finished its calculations. The approaching objects numbered in the thousands, each one larger than Earth's biggest space stations. Elena activated the emergency communication protocol that connected her directly to Admiral Chen Wei at the Mars Defense Command. The transmission would take 47 minutes to reach Mars, but this couldn't wait. She began recording her message, her voice steady despite the fear building in her chest. Admiral Chen, this is Dr. Vasquez at Neptune Station. I'm transmitting Priority Alpha, data that requires immediate attention. We have detected a massive fleet of unknown vessels approaching our solar system from the galactic northwest. Current projections show approximately 8,000 individual ships, with the largest measuring over 50 kilometers in length. Their technology appears to be using some form of exotic propulsion that our sensors have never encountered before. Estimated time to reach Earth's orbit is 72 hours. I'm uploading all sensor data with this message. Elena out. She sealed the message with her personal encryption key and sent it racing toward Mars at the speed of light. While she waited for a response, Elena continued analyzing the approaching fleet. The ships moved in perfect formation, their hulls gleaming with an otherworldly metal that seemed to absorb and reflect light in impossible ways. These were not explorers or traders. This was an invasion force. On Mars, Admiral Chen Wei received Elena's message in his underground command center. The facility stretched for kilometers beneath the red planet's surface, housing the most advanced military technology humanity had ever created. Chen was a veteran of the asteroid wars and had spent his entire career preparing for the day when Earth might face threats from beyond the solar system. That day had finally arrived. Chen immediately activated Protocol 7, sending encrypted messages to every major military installation in the solar system. Within minutes, the message reached Captain Isabella Torres aboard the stealth reconnaissance ship Shadow Walker, currently stationed in the asteroid belt. Isabella was humanity's finest pilot, chosen for her ability to navigate the most dangerous regions of space without being detected. The Shadow Walker was a marvel of human engineering, its hull designed to bend light around itself, and its engines capable of near-silent operation. Isabella had spent years perfecting her skills in the ship, learning to move through space like a ghost. She received Admiral Chen's orders and immediately began plotting a course that would take her close to the approaching alien fleet. Computer, analyze the target coordinates and give me the safest approach vector, Isabella commanded as she strapped herself into the pilot's seat. The ship's artificial intelligence, nicknamed Oracle, responded in its calm, synthetic voice. Course plotted, Captain. Recommend using the gravitational fields of Jupiter and Saturn to mask our approach. Estimated time to optimal observation position is 18 hours. Isabella engaged the stealth systems and guided the Shadow Walker out of the asteroid belt, her ship becoming nearly invisible against the backdrop of space. As she flew toward the alien fleet, she couldn't help but think about the billions of people on Earth who had no idea that their entire civilization was about to be tested. Meanwhile, on Earth, Dr. Marcus Thompson was deep underground in a facility that officially didn't exist. The Vanguard Command Center was buried beneath the Rocky Mountains, its existence known only to a handful of the most trusted military and scientific personnel. Marcus had dedicated his life to designing and building humanity's ultimate defense system, a network of hidden weapons and detection equipment that spanned the entire solar system. The Vanguard Protocol was humanity's greatest secret. For over 30 years, every major construction project in space had included hidden components of the defense system. Mining platforms carried concealed weapon systems. Communication satellites housed targeting computers. Research stations contained massive energy capacitors. To any observer, these installations appeared to be simple civilian infrastructure, but they were actually components of the most sophisticated military system ever created. Marcus received the alert from Admiral Chun and immediately began the activation sequence. His fingers flew across the control panels as he brought online systems that had been dormant for decades. Throughout the solar system, hidden weapons platforms began their silent preparations. The asteroid mining station near Ceres revealed concealed missile launchers. The Jupiter orbital facility powered up its plasma cannons. The Saturn ring monitoring stations activated their particle beam arrays. Captain Torres reached her observation position just as the alien fleet began broadcasting their message to Earth. The transmission was sent on all frequencies, a clear sign that the aliens wanted to ensure every human could hear their ultimatum. Isabella activated her ship's recording equipment and listened to the message that would change everything. The voice that emerged from her speakers was cold and mechanical, speaking perfect English with no trace of emotion. Primitive inhabitants of the third planet, I am War Master Zekthil of the Dominion of Kefver. Your solar system has been selected for integration into our empire. You have 48 hours to surrender unconditionally. Dismantle all military installations and prepare for occupation. Your species will serve as laborers in our mines and factories. Any resistance will result in the complete sterilization of your world. We have conquered 47 star systems. Before yours, do not force us to make it 48. Isabella felt her blood turn to ice as she listened to the message. The aliens spoke of humanity as if they were insects, something to be swept aside without thought. She focused her ship's sensors on the alien fleet, recording everything she could about their technology, their formations, and their apparent weaknesses. The alien ships were massive and intimidating, their hulls covered in weapon systems that could level continents. But Isabella noticed something that gave her hope. The aliens moved in rigid formations, their ships clustered together like they had never faced serious opposition. They had become overconfident after conquering so many worlds, and overconfidence could be a fatal weakness. Back on Earth, President Sarah Mitchell convened an emergency session of the Global Defense Council. The world's leaders gathered in an secure facility beneath Geneva, their faces grim as they listened to the alien ultimatum. The message had been broadcast to every human on Earth, causing panic in the streets and chaos in the financial markets. How long do we have? President Mitchell asked Admiral Chun, who had traveled from Mars to attend the meeting in person. 48 hours until they reach Earth's orbit, Chun replied. But if we're going to activate the Vanguard Protocol, we need to begin the final preparations now. The president looked around the table at the faces of humanity's leaders. Some showed fear, others determination, but all understood that they were facing the most critical decision in human history. Is the system ready? Dr. Thompson's image appeared on the main screen, transmitted from the Vanguard Command Center. All systems are operational, Madam President. We have over 12,000 individual weapon platforms positioned throughout the solar system. The aliens have no idea what they're flying into. The President took a deep breath and made the decision that would define humanity's future. Activate the Vanguard Protocol. Show these aliens that humanity is not as helpless as they think. Throughout the solar system, the hidden weapons of the Vanguard defense system came online. Mining platforms that had operated peacefully for decades revealed massive railguns. Communication satellites unfolded plasma cannons. Research stations powered particle beam weapons. The network that had been disguised as civilian infrastructure for 30 years was finally showing its true purpose. War Master Zekthal stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Dominator, watching the primitive solar system grow larger on his screens. The humans had not responded to his ultimatum, which was typical of inferior species. They were probably paralyzed by fear, unable to comprehend the magnitude of the force approaching their world. Commander Vextol, Zekthal called to his tactical officer. What is the status of our weapon systems? All systems are ready, War Master. The planet crackers are charged, and the orbital bombardment platforms are prepared for deployment. We can begin the demonstration as soon as we reach optimal range. Zekthal nodded with satisfaction. The demonstration would be simple but effective. His fleet would destroy the humans' largest city, showing them the futility of resistance. After that, the surviving humans would surrender within hours, just as every other species had done. But as the alien fleet moved deeper into the solar system, they were being watched by thousands of hidden sensors. Captain Torres continued her reconnaissance mission, gathering intelligence on the alien ship's shield frequencies and weapon systems. Her data was transmitted to the Vanguard Command Center, where Dr. Thompson and his team analyzed every detail. There, shields operate on a rotating harmonic frequency, Thompson reported to Admiral Chun. If we can synchronize our attacks to hit them during their shield rotation cycles, we can maximize damage. What about their formation? Chun asked. They're clustered together for intimidation, but it makes them vulnerable to coordinated attacks. If we can hit them from multiple directions simultaneously, their own ships will interfere with each other's defensive systems. The alien fleet continued its approach, unaware that humanity had spent 3 decades preparing for this moment. The Vanguard Protocol was more than just a weapon system. It was a testament to human ingenuity, determination, and the ability to plan for threats that might not emerge for generations. As the countdown to the alien arrival continued, every human in the solar system prepared for the battle that would determine the fate of their species. The aliens expected to find a helpless civilization ready for conquest. Instead, they were about to discover that humanity had been waiting for them all along. The Vanguard unleashed the alien fleet, reached the outer edge of the solar system exactly as predicted. War Master Zekthal stood on the bridge of the Dominator, his 4 eyes scanning the tactical displays that showed the disposition of his massive armada. 8,000 ships arranged in perfect attack formation, their weapons charged and ready to demonstrate the might of the Kethvar Dominion. Approaching the 4th planet, reported Commander Vextol from his position at the tactical station. No sign of defensive installations or military vessels. The humans appeared to be offering no resistance. Zekthal's mandibles clicked in satisfaction. This was exactly what he had expected. The humans were a young species, barely capable of interplanetary travel. Their technology was primitive, their military forces scattered and weak. They had probably never faced a threat like the Dominion fleet. Maintain formation, Zekthal ordered. We will pass the red planet and proceed directly to the 3rd world. Once we are in optimal position, we will begin the demonstration bombardment. Deep beneath the surface of Mars, Admiral Chun Wei watched the alien fleet's approach. On his command screens, the Vanguard defense system was tracking every ship, every weapon, every energy signature. The aliens had no idea they were flying into the most sophisticated trap in human history. "All stations report ready," announced Major Sarah Kim, Chun's chief of staff. "The Vanguard network is fully operational. We have targeting solutions for all primary targets." Chun opened a communication channel to Dr. Thompson at the Vanguard Command Center. "Marcus, what's the status of our weapon systems?" Thompson's voice came through clearly, despite the millions of kilometers separating them. "All 12,000 platforms are online and ready. The synchronization protocols are locked in. We can engage the entire alien fleet simultaneously." "And Captain Torres?" "Still maintaining her observation position. She's providing real-time targeting data for the shield frequency attacks." Admiral Chun looked at the countdown timer on his wall. The alien fleet would reach Earth's orbit in 6 hours. It was time to spring the trap that humanity had been preparing for 3 decades. Aboard the Shadow Walker, Captain Isabella Torres watched the alien fleet through her ship's advanced sensors. The massive vessels moved with arrogant confidence, their formation tight and their weapons powered but not raised to full combat readiness. The aliens clearly believed they faced no threat from humanity. Asterisk. "Computer, confirm the shield rotation patterns," Isabella whispered, not wanting to risk detection, even though her ship was virtually invisible. "Confirmed, Captain. The alien shields rotate through 7 different frequency bands every 4.3 seconds. There is a 0.7-second window during each rotation where their defenses are vulnerable." Isabella smiled grimly. That 0.7-second window was all the Vanguard system would need. She transmitted the final targeting data to the command center and prepared to witness the most devastating military engagement in human history. On Earth, President Mitchell addressed the world from the secure bunker beneath Geneva. Billions of people watched as she spoke directly to the camera, her voice calm and confident despite the approaching threat. "My fellow humans, in a few hours, our species will face its greatest challenge. An alien armada approaches our world, demanding our surrender and threatening our extinction. They believe we are weak, helpless, and defenseless. They are about to learn how wrong they are." The president paused, looking directly into the camera. "For 30 years, humanity has been preparing for this moment. Every space station, every mining platform, every research facility has been part of a grand design. Today, the galaxy will learn that humanity is not prey. We are predators." War Master Zek Thol received the human transmission on his command bridge. He watched the primitive leader with amusement, noting her small size and apparent fragility. The fact that their species had selected such a weak creature to lead them proved how inferior they truly were. "Commander Vextal," Zek Thol called, "begin charging the planet crackers. We will show these humans what happens to species that dare to threaten the Dominion." But as the alien weapons powered up, something unexpected happened. Throughout the solar system, installations that had appeared to be peaceful civilian structures began to change. The mining platform near Ceres split open like a flower, revealing a massive magnetic acceleration cannon. The communication relay near Jupiter unfolded weapon systems that had been hidden for decades. The research station orbiting Saturn powered up particle beam arrays that could slice through any known armor. Dr. Thompson watched from the Vanguard Command Center as his life's work finally revealed itself. Every single installation in the solar system was transforming, hidden weapon systems emerging from their civilian disguises. The asteroid mining facilities became missile launch platforms. The solar power collectors became energy weapon arrays. The deep space monitoring stations became targeting computers for the most sophisticated weapons network ever created. Vanguard. Protocol is fully active, Thompson announced to Admiral Chun. All systems are green. We have firing solutions for every target in the alien fleet. The alien fleet had moved into the perfect position, their tight formation designed to maximize their intimidation factor. But that same formation made them vulnerable to coordinated attacks from multiple directions. The Vanguard system had been specifically designed to exploit this kind of tactical error. War Master Zekthul was about to give the order to begin a bombardment when his sensors detected something that made his blood freeze. Energy signatures were appearing throughout the solar system, massive power sources that had been completely hidden until this moment. The primitive humans had somehow concealed weapons of incredible sophistication. War Master, Commander Vextel, shouted from his station. I'm detecting massive energy buildups from multiple sources. The humans have hidden weapon systems throughout their solar system. Zekthul stared at his tactical displays in disbelief. The humans had turned their entire star system into a weapons platform. Every installation he had dismissed as civilian infrastructure was revealing itself to be a military target. The scope of the deception was beyond anything he had ever encountered. All ships raise shields to maximum, Zekthul commanded. Prepare for immediate combat, but it was too late. The Vanguard defense system had been designed to strike with perfect coordination, and 30 years of preparation had led to this moment. Throughout the solar system, 12,000 hidden weapon platforms fired simultaneously. The first wave of attacks struck the alien fleet exactly as their shields rotated to vulnerable frequencies. Magnetic acceleration cannons fired projectiles at significant fractions of light speed. Particle beam weapons sliced through armor that had never been penetrated. Plasma cannons unleashed the fury of artificial suns. The alien fleet, which had seemed invincible just moments before, began to die. The Dominator, War Master Zekthul's flagship, was hit by 17 separate weapon systems in the first salvo. The massive ship's shields collapsed under the coordinated assault, and its armor began to vaporize under the intense firepower. Secondary explosions ripped through the vessel as its own weapons and fuel systems were compromised. Throughout the alien fleet, the same scene repeated thousands of times. Ships that had conquered dozens of worlds were being destroyed by weapons they had never seen before. The humans had not only hidden their defensive capabilities, but had created a system that could target every enemy vessel simultaneously. Captain Torres watched from her concealed position as the alien armada dissolved into expanding clouds of debris and energy. The Vanguard system was firing in perfect sequence, each weapon timed to strike during the precise moment when the alien shields were vulnerable. Ships that had seemed impossible to destroy were being cut apart like paper. This is incredible, she whispered to herself. They're not just destroying the fleet, they're annihilating it. The battle lasted exactly 7 minutes and 34 seconds. When it was over, the alien fleet that had threatened to destroy human civilization had been completely eliminated. Of the 8,000 ships that had entered the solar system, only 47 small scout vessels at the edges of the formation survived. These ships immediately began broadcasting surrender signals. Dr. Thompson stood in the Vanguard Command Center, watching the tactical displays that showed the complete destruction of the alien threat. 30 years of his life had been dedicated to this moment, and the system had performed beyond his wildest expectations. Complete target elimination, he reported to Admiral Chun. Enemy fleet destroyed. No human casualties reported. On Earth, President Mitchell addressed the world once again. Behind her, the screens showed the debris field where the alien fleet had been. The threat to our world has been eliminated. The Kethver Dominion has learned that humanity is not helpless. We are not primitive. We are not weak. Today, the galaxy has witnessed the birth of a new power. War Master Zekthal died aboard his flagship, his final thought being amazement at the humans' deception. The species he had dismissed as primitive insects had outmaneuvered and outfought the most powerful military force in known space. The Kethver Dominion had suffered its first major defeat in over a century. Admiral Chun opened a communication channel to the surviving alien scouts. "This is Admiral Chung Wei of the Human Defense Forces. You will return to your empire and deliver this message. Earth is not defenseless. Earth is not weak. Any future attempts to threaten our world will be met with total destruction. You have seen what happens to those who underestimate humanity." The surviving alien ships fled the solar system at maximum speed, carrying news of the impossible defeat back to their empire. The Dominion had expected to add another conquered world to their collection. Instead, they had encountered a species that would force them to reconsider their entire approach to galactic conquest. Captain Torres brought the Shadow Walker home to Earth, where she was greeted as a hero. Her reconnaissance mission had provided the crucial intelligence that made the Vanguard system's success possible. The data she had gathered about alien shield frequencies and tactical formations had been the key to the complete victory. In the aftermath of the battle, humanity faced a new reality. They were no longer an isolated species struggling to survive on a single world. They had announced their presence to the galaxy in the most dramatic way possible. The Vanguard Protocol had not only saved Earth, but had established humanity as a force to be reckoned with among the stars. Dr. Thompson received messages from scientists around the world, congratulating him on the success of his life's work. The Vanguard defense system had proven that human ingenuity and determination could overcome any threat. The network of hidden weapons would remain active, ready to defend humanity against any future challenges. As the news of the victory spread throughout human space, a new age began. The species that had once been confined to a single star system had proven they could defend themselves against any threat. The galaxy had taken notice of humanity, and the universe would never be the same. The Vanguard Protocol had succeeded beyond all expectations. Humanity had faced extinction and emerged victorious, ready to take their place among the stars as a species that would never again be underestimated. Asterisk.